I believe it is still Sunday the 3rd. Is that right? 5th.
That's
5th.
right.
Still missing the 2 days here. Okay, so on the 5th of today, which on some calendars that's supposed to be right, I found this little piece of video that I'm going to show you all here in a minute. If you're wondering where to find us, this ever-moving graphic that I keep changing. How many times have you done this now, Brandy?
At least 3.
Yeah, well, I messed with some stuff today, so you probably got one more in you. So you can find us pretty much everywhere. We're trying to do our best to not get struck or struck out. I think we got one YouTube strike, and that was for devolution. But other than that, we're everywhere. You can see in the Chiron. You can see in all the pieces and parts that we've got up and running. Our sponsor is Anti-Aging Bed. Please support them. It is important. They are the only people I know that actually have something that works. And yes, I do have a commercial. Okay, here we go. 1 minute in, and I'm going to show you this. So this is supposed to be footage of, well, the middle of Antarctica.
Another short video today. This is a video I saw over on Facebook, and in the description I've got a link to the video in the post by the gentleman. And
I could not find the original link, so this sort of has to do us. I can't imagine this to be up on Facebook very long.
I'll just leave it there so you guys, if you want to go check it out for yourself, please do. But the video really caught my eye. And for those of you that are doing your research on the globe versus other models, I guess.
Okay, that's where we're going today, because this whole video is just basically this plane circling this thing. He zooms in a little bit.
To the dome, a.k.a. firmament, and the dome is what...
Yeah, well, we're not going to take his 25-second excuse here. This, I found this picture quite some time ago. This is supposed to be from the first satellite that goes into space in 1968. Now, I'm going to show you something I found also that gets us a little bit before 1968. It's actually the first balloon that goes up. Check this out.
Night falls in the Black Hills of South Dakota, the United States National Geographic balloon is inflated for its now historic flight into space. 0 hour for a great adventure, with Captain Stevens and Captain Anderson as the men of the hour. At the command up ship, he's cut loose and right.
Spy balloon shot down yesterday off the coast of South Carolina. You can see Navy ships off the coast as part of that search, and what appears to be part of the balloon brought back to shore. The balloon was shot down in spectacular fashion on Saturday afternoon. Republicans were out in force today, blasting President Biden for not acting sooner and faster. The president has
The Norse would call it Agartha, for him reason. Here's a short clip from a documentary claiming to be going to the North Pole.
Arriving destination, 15 feet, 12, 10.
We did this earlier. This is just, real time. Yeah, this is all. You can't get there. It's hard to get to.
All your past traditional beliefs and open your or the Black Rock. And in the movie, a young boy goes to another dimension called Midworld, and the only reason he's able to get in is because, quote, his shine is pure. That's a prerequisite in a lot of the North Pole paradise mythology we were discussing earlier. This magical kingdom,
they make it all magical. You can't get there. No one knows what it looks like. Well, this is supposed to be footage of the real thing.
Turns clockwise, since there has never been a single inch of parallax ever noted in any star ever. So the post goes on and has links. It has the latitude, longitude.
So here's what I think we're actually looking at, because this right here is the first one of these things to go up. This is in 38, I think. Now here's where it gets interesting, because if the Earth is curved and spinning through the universe at some satanic number worth of speed, and we're not falling off because of a thing that is inconsistent, gravity is 10 meters per second squared. I are an actual physicist, so I'll tell you that if you change the spin rate of the thing that's falling, that it will fall at a different speed. And that's about angular spin rate. It's the thing they've hidden from us the most. So let's watch this for a minute. We'll let the guy do it himself. Okay, this is important. This is the original photo, and they Photoshop everything. I mean, you can't get a GoPro without a curvature lens, unless you're right in front of it. The GoPro's got a curved lens because you can send that thing into space, just like they did here. This is I'll keep going. This is supposed to be your high altitude balloon, man. Photographs taken as part of the Joint National Geographic Society U.S. Army Air Corps Stratosphere Project in an effort to set new records in flight altitude and take the first step towards space travel. After previous unsuccessful attempts with the craft Explorer, science made modifications, and then they put up more gas in it. The exercise was needed because of the lift. The helium is now used in place of hydrogen, which proved so dangerous when it caused the Explorer to explode. Of course, they blew the other one up. Probably someone had a hold of the film. Explorer 2 was launched into the Strato Bowl. There, it's right in front of us. Orville Anderson was the pilot. Unfortunately, the crash balloon ripped and collapsed shortly after inflation, so a new launch was scheduled for autumn. Finally, on Armistice Day, before November 11th, before a crowd of soldiers, scientists, engineers, and even a local Sioux Indian tribe, the balloon was successfully launched its ascent. So they did this on Indian property, obviously, so they could get so it was hard to get to. Its ascent, despite some initial worries, was nearly perfect. It rose to 72,000 feet, nearly 14 miles, at this dizzying altitude where the sky is banded from white through the light blue to the deep blue black of space. The deep blue black of space. That's because it's sky ice. That was our last show or two ago. Stevens took his groundbreaking photograph. The pilots monitored the performance of nearly a ton of scientific instruments while maintaining. And like when this thing comes down, they don't instead of spread to 7 miles like they're searching for that Chinese thing. Okay, here's the camera for unusual photographs. It puts a curve on it. there's your balloon. A little, not very different from the one that we just saw shot down. Okay, so the thing falls down here and it just falls to the ground. Yeah, that's not 7 miles worth of debris. What are they doing to us? Journey to the center of the earth. They've been telling us about this forever.
Will all
They're going to talk about Ysidro. I'm not sure what he's doing here. I don't like the music. Okay. 7 mile debris field for down Chinese spy fleet. They're going to make that into something else. Here, let's look at it from this direction.
In the age of social media censorship, questioning whether or not the Earth is a globe has been deemed harmful thought. But why is this? We seem to be conditioned to think that the issue has been scientifically settled. But this is not the case. Our most popular scientists recognize that the geocentric model, where the Earth is at the center of the universe, is observably accurate. Edwin Hubble and Stephen Hawking went as far as to say that they reject the geocentric model not based on scientific reasoning, but rather because they find the thought of being at the center of the universe to be emotionally disturbing. Physicist George Ellis stated that you cannot disprove the geocentric model. You can only exclude it on philosophical grounds. Michelson-Morley experiment in the 1880s proved the Earth was stationary, and Albert Einstein claimed this was a serious embarrassment and intended to disprove it with his relativity theory, but later admitted that he had failed to do so. We are conditioned to think the heliocentric model is scientifically superior to the geocentric model, but when we apply scientific reasoning, we discover that this is not true. Contrary to popular thought, the scientific community has disputed the heliocentric model for centuries, such as the Earth's curvature. According to the heliocentric Earth model, the Earth is 24,000 miles in circumference, and if one were standing at sea level, they should only be able to see less than 3 miles before the surface of the Earth curves out of view. But this has been proven to be false for centuries. From the Bedford Level experiments of 1838 to modern photography. This photograph of Chicago was taken almost 60 miles away from Grand Mere State Park in Michigan. On a spherical Earth, this would be impossible. Using the Pythagorean theorem and the current dimensions of the Earth, the top of the tallest skyscraper should be 900 feet below the observable horizon. Local news explained this anomaly by claiming the image was a mirage.
And what you're seeing here is a mirage. We typically would not be able to see this from the Lake Michigan shore. We talked about this last night. Conditions are right on the lake that we're actually seeing a mirage.
They claimed that somehow light refraction and perfect weather conditions are responsible for creating a photorealistic mirage of the Chicago skyline appearing to sit on the flat horizon from almost 60 miles away. Anomalies in the Earth's curvature can also be found in old lighthouses, able to be seen for several miles past what is possible on the heliocentric model, and weapons guidance systems that are capable of sighting targets that would only be possible on a flat plane. We are accustomed to observing ships disappearing over the curve, but with modern consumer cameras, we can observe that this seems to be an optical illusion based on light reflection and the laws of perspective. Many of us tend to think the planet is too big to observe curvature, but the empirical evidence tells us that either the surface of the Earth is a flat plane or the planet is at least 100 times bigger than we are told.
Okay, 100 times bigger than we're told. That certainly does look a lot like Where am I? Where's my Facebook page? That certainly doesn't look a lot like something that is closer to this model here. Oops, go the other way. I'm in the wrong place. No, I'm not. I thought that I had my other photos here. I don't. So we've got multiple maps that show us that it's much bigger than it should have been. Okay, so if we look at, where's my next slide? Okay, let's look at this for a minute.
Making an assumption that the flat Earth is just some object floating in space, similar to the way NASA presents the globe. There are many cartoon depictions of such silly flat Earths floating in space, put out by the farcical gatekeepers at the Flat Earth Society and others, but these images do not represent the claims of genuine globe skeptics. We simply posit that through objective and empirical means, the Earth is demonstrably a stationary level plane devoid of any curvature, which proves the prevailing globe Earth theory to be scientifically impossible. The question, why are there no photographs of the flat Earth, is truly bizarre and confusing, because literally every photograph ever taken of the Earth shows a perfectly flat horizon extending outwards in all directions without the slightest bit of curvature or globularity. The only exceptions to this are trick photography in the form of fisheye lenses, like the ones used by GoPro, or CGI composites, like the ones created by NASA. All actual photographs taken with non-fisheye lenses show
So
the
look
Earth.
at this. If this is supposed to be 22 miles and we're this far up, then how does it look that big? It doesn't make any sense. The math doesn't work.
To be a level plane. Even at the highest altitudes reached by amateur rockets and balloons, where hundreds of miles can be seen in all directions, the horizon remains flat and rises to the eye of the observer, a physical impossibility on a globe of given proportions, which requires an apparent and easily visible curvature drop even at ground level. A much better and more pertinent question ball believers should be asking themselves is, why are there no actual photographs of the globe? NASA admits on their own website that their pictures of Earth from space are composite images and not photographs. NASA artist and lead blue marble designer Robert Simmons described on live radio the process by which NASA fakes these CGI images, going as far as to say they are photoshopped because they have to be. Even a cursory glance at these obviously doctored pictures should raise suspicion. Comparing them side by side, they all look completely different, with varying shapes and sizes of landmasses, randomly colored earth and water.
Yeah. Come on, we all know what CGI looks like, right? It from a different way.
Is claimed to be proof of the globe and transmission lines. There are several photographs and videos of the Louisiana Lake Pontchartrain causeway and transmission lines showing what globe enthusiasts claim to be visual proof of the Earth. In the footage,
I know this is across the backside. This is outside, just outside of Baton Rouge, isn't it?
Yeah, that's somewhere else.
Yeah, it's somewhere else. Because this large band, I don't recognize anywhere in the state. I'm not sure where they get this from, but this is a good example of what he's trying to say, even if it's
Yeah.
the bridge and transmission lines, when viewed from a certain angle and height, appear to curve downwards as they tend toward the horizon, and this apparent curvature is claimed to be proof of the globe. The first thing to notice when considering this footage is that the curvature is not at all uniform, as it must be on a globe. Instead, there is almost no apparent curvature in the foreground, and far too much curvature appearing in the background near the horizon. If you trace a circle completing the curve in these pictures, it is clear that they cannot be showing the curvature of a globe nearly 25,000 miles in circumference. The bridge itself is just under 24 miles long, and a circle traced over the radically curving section near the horizon would represent a tiny globe, only a few hundred miles in circumference maximum. This shows that the alleged curvature is actually a visual phenomenon and not a physical one. In fact, by placing a series of identical blocks on a flat table and filming from a similar height and angle, the exact same seeming curvature effect can be achieved. Visually, it appears as if the blocks toward the back of the table are getting shorter, or that the table itself and natural physics of water remain the same.
So water finds its own level. They blame us all on visualization. Okay. This gets a little out there, but we'll go here. You really can't go here without talking about Antarctica and all this stuff that's supposed to be happening without just touching on Maria and the Vril Society for half a second. Okay, here's another viewpoint of what the Milky Way is supposed to do and what it's actually doing from a celestial standpoint. I agree.
And I mean everything.
Everything, okay? Hold on, we're not there yet. I thought I had a commercial. Darn it. So our sponsor is Anti-Aging Bed. They, if you're looking for actual frequency and vibration stuff that works, then Anti-Aging Bed is where you're going to want to go. They have got stuff that actually works. So if you look, let's look at movie shorts. We spend a bunch of our time with our phone next to our head. It's not the best thing you can do, especially when we're trying to fight EMF. Fighting EMF is a big part of this. Here, let's listen to Dr. Fab. He's part of the Anti-Aging Bed team.
Hi, this is Dr. Fab Mancini, and I'm so excited because I have my anti-aging bed cover. Let me tell you, this technology has three primarily things that will revolutionize the way you sleep every night. The first one is grounding. The second one is far infrared, and the other one is silver. Those three technologies will allow you not only to sleep better, but to actually recover and allow your body to heal while you're sleeping. So I want you to please click right here. This is a QR code that you can go right there and get some savings, my savings to you, because I want you to benefit from this. And
we want everybody to benefit from this technology. That's why they're our only sponsor. So, okay, let's get back to, people don't believe that the technology actually works. They believe in whatever they're told, right? So I'm saying try it. Works for
you. Another very intriguing argument for flat earthers is Antarctica, the mysterious massive continent at our southern pole that nobody is allowed to explore. After sailing over 60,000 miles along the Antarctic coastline, Captain Cook was never able to complete the journey around the ice continent, which is supposed to be just under 12,000 miles around. Neither was James Clark. Cook was never able to complete the journey around the ice continent, which is supposed
the pole of inaccessibility. You know why it's inaccessible? Because it looks like this. That looks pretty inaccessible, doesn't it?
It does.
I don't think I can get an Uber to there.
Probably not.
Because I think it's this. This is from a satellite. They're taking a 68. Oh, it's the first satellite. So you're going to tell me that these guys are doing this in 1935? Between 1935 and 1968, when this satellite goes up, oh, it's the first one taken. Really? The first one. Because we've got them up here now too. We still got these things. This one got shut down. Same thing.
New fighter jet.
Here we go. That's a launch. Fire launch. We got it.
Woo! Hey, big win. Well, what propaganda? This is what's actually going on.
Supposed to be just under 12,000 miles around. Neither was James Clark Ross or the British ship Challenger. Nobody has ever successfully circumnavigated Antarctica. Many so-called flat earthers claim that these attempts failed because Antarctica is actually a massive ice barrier that surrounds the flat surface of the Earth. The azimuthal equidistant projection map, produced by the U.S. Geological Survey, has been used for centuries for the fact that all directions or azimuths are correct and all distances are at true scale. Studying this map, one can clearly see how man has been able to accurately circumnavigate the Earth on a flat plane model. And if it is in fact accurate, then it explains why after 60,000 miles, nobody has been able to completely circumnavigate Antarctica. Interestingly, this is also the map used by the United Nations. Admiral Richard Byrd, Medal of Honor winner, youngest admiral in the history of the Navy, and recipient of 3 ticker tape parades in his honor, led 4 expeditions to Antarctica. The 4th being a military operation known as Operation High Jump, with an aircraft carrier group, 4,700 men, 13 support ships, and 33 aircraft. Their stated mission was to establish the Antarctic research base Little America 4, but many believe the true nature of the secret mission was to root out the Nazis who arrived in...
Yep, the Nazis who, according to the people here, were led by the Vril Society, with Maria Ostrich being in the middle of it. There's a lot of things that are supposed to happen during D class. A bunch of them. I mean, this is is any of this correct? I'm not really sure. I know that if you look at the way we're supposed to be shaped, none of the math makes sense. This is a concave Earth model that says that all the water stays in the middle. Okay, I'll end on a positive note here. We're going to go into channelers and alliances, and anybody who's watched this far has got a little bit of an open mind. This is supposed to be our message as we move into the age of Aquarius, which is happening right now.
Greetings. We are the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect with all of you. We are looking for assistance from other collectives in the non-physical realm, collectives who want to form an alliance to create a new energetic field that would be able to modulate all of the energies there on Earth.
Modulate all of the energy. Doesn't this look like energy?
That does.
So this is the energy that has been captured, according to this theory line. This is the energy that's been captured and is being modified across Terra so that we don't get any of the good stuff. And let's listen to Daniel's page here.
So that you can have a purer experience of yourselves, of your thoughts, and of your emotions. This is a Herculean task, which is why we are looking for allies. those who are as interested as we are in helping all of you. You have had so much interference in your natural growth and development, interference that spans millions of years. And now, there are so many different kinds of energies present there on Earth that we just feel it is time for humankind to show the rest of the galaxy what you can do when you have access to the right energies and no interference from the wrong ones. Now, we know many of you take steps to protect yourselves, to clear your energy fields, and to harmonize with those higher frequency energies, but you are in the minority. Most of the humans there on Earth are being influenced by something that is detrimental to the development of their consciousness. And right now, one thing we know for certain is true about humanity and life on Earth, and that is the truth that you need a higher level of consciousness up to bring all of you together, so that you can become the harmonious collective that you are destined to be. We would just like to see you get there without interference. We would like to see you be able to receive more of the help that is coming your way all of the time, and we would like to see what you can do when there are no energies present that are there with the intention of disrupting your natural evolution. We want to see you free, because we know that you are capable of so much more, and those of you who are taking care of your energy fields are demonstrating that by holding so much light and so much love, that you are providing the necessary balance that will allow humanity to continue to.
So this is the tipping point that everybody's talking about. So maybe part of that is opening your brain up and thinking, hey, maybe this is right. Maybe this is the energy field she's talking about. Just maybe. Oh, and maybe this is the actual shape. This is what it looks like. There is a big, I think a bunch of people agree with you, Chase. There's a big hole right here in the middle. This is different. Oh, it's 1968. That's got to be the first one. Nope. This is 1935 from a camera in a balloon. The first high altitude photo. Nope. Says right here, this remarkable photo was taken by satellite. It's almost no cloud cover. So this is the millionth. This is the one that got leaked because these balloons are still happening. All this is still happening around us. And we've seen a million Journey to the Center of the Earth movies. We did a show about that a million shows ago. But water finds this level. I'm telling you, it gets hard to prove once you start looking backwards.
Globe apologists will claim the mythical force of gravity somehow causes lakes and oceans to bend in conformity with their fantastical ball Earth. But, conveniently, of course, only at a scale too large for them to recreate. In reality, no matter what the scale, all contained, undisturbed bodies of water are demonstrably flat, including the 24-mile expanse of Lake Pontchartrain. This becomes obvious when viewed at altitude, as the entire lake and causeway can be seen with a perfectly flat horizon above them. With the use of high-altitude balloons, it becomes even more obvious, as they reach heights of over 120,000 feet, capable of seeing for hundreds of miles in all directions. Ironically, when confronted with these flat horizons, globe Earth apologists use the exact opposite excuse, and no matter your altitude, always claim you simply aren't high enough to see the curvature. In other words, they claim at ground level, the Lake Pontchartrain bridge and transmission towers are bending around the physical curvature of their globe just 24 miles away. But at high altitudes, where we can see for hundreds of miles in all directions, that is somehow not high or far enough to see the curve.
Well, there's my flat Earth argument. I don't know that I know exactly what shape it is. I just don't believe what they're telling me.
Numbers never lie.
Well, they do if you manipulate them. See numbers manipulated all over the place. So just stop getting manipulated. You know, you can call me a crazy flat earther if you want. I don't care. I don't know that I have the right answer. I just know that I don't believe what they're telling me. That's what I think. So I don't know. You've gotten this argument from me a couple of times. What do you think is actually out there? Have I swayed you from a globular to a flatteler?
I think I got there before you got here.
Uh-huh. It is the marble donut, Bird. You're right. So I think that's the right picture. Okay.
Yep.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gandalf.
Everyone in the power of my voice, if you don't know that you're fantastic and you haven't told yourself, that no one else is going to do it either. I appreciate everybody, and please like, subscribe, go check out our sponsor, and see if you can't make your life a little better by just opening your mind.